Advice along the lines of don't be so hard on yourself is something that I've been told many times in my life, and certainly quite a few times in the last year. It seems to be a factor of the human mind that we're able to have a canyon of difference between the advice we hear and the advice we actually want to listen to and take action on. Of course, the advice we get isn't just from outside, and we all have that little voice inside ourselves that by and large we choose not to listen to because we're too afraid that it might lift our mask and people will see behind and see the person we really are. Anyone who's followed my vlog this year will know that over the summer I started to recognise the need for self-care, and I spoke about some of the things I was doing to address that. Now, when I look back at it, I think perhaps I was putting that on a vlog because I was trying to convince myself that what I was doing was enough. It's true, I did make some changes in my life, but the reality of that situation is that I was just procrastinating, convincing myself that everything else that I was dealing with was simply too important to allow me to focus fully on my welfare. Let's face it, we only get one life, so why would we not choose to make our self-care the number one priority? When I say that, I don't mean that we should implement a routine so rigid and inflexible that actually it becomes a burden in itself, but it's perhaps more important that we recognise the importance of our self-care and just hold ourselves accountable for trying to keep that going. This week I noticed that Matthew, author of the book that inspired this series, has done exactly that himself. Acknowledging that he's not feeling 100%, he has taken steps to modify his routine for a few days, but he's done it in such a way, such a very public way through his Facebook audience, that it holds him accountable. It gives him the freedom to not be okay, essentially, just for a couple of days, but at the same time to keep pushing forwards. One finding from my vlogs is, perhaps unsurprisingly, that I've pushed myself too far. I've allowed myself to live in ridiculous extremes of cold. I have neglected my sleep and my diet. I have taken comfort in alcohol. I've allowed work, study and volunteering to undermine some of my most wholesome friendships. I've cried and I have shouted, both on my own and at or with others. And I did all this because I thought I was making myself a better person. I know I'm being too hard on myself, but I do also recognise the amount I have achieved in this past year. And not just that, but also the lessons that I've learned. Let me finish today with one of Matthew's own quotes from the book. You can't add an extra hour after Sunday or a few hours to the end of each evening. Neglecting sleep, your health and diet may seem necessary when starting a business, but is it? Maybe you justify overworking yourself after you make a mistake, but it isn't the answer. Cramming more work into your day is fine, but all you ultimately achieve is a less efficient and productive member of the team, or one that eventually falls off the cliff. Sound familiar? I invite you to join me tomorrow, where I will talk about procrastination. Thank you for watching. I forgot what I'm trying to say there.
Show the book.
Not sure that's quite how I wanted it.
It doesn't matter. You don't aim for perfection.
It's not.
You're holding the book on your face.
Am I?
Yeah.
Oh yes, that was on that side.
Yeah. I thought That's actually a great finish, to be fair.